What's up, guys? It's Brandon here today, my 328i, and this last Saturday I got to drive an M235i. Now that was a really cool car to drive. Sadly, my GoPro died before I even got in the car, and I couldn't record anything, but I did get some very nice pictures of the engine, the interior, the outside of the car. Now, before I talk about this car, actually, let's go straight into it. This car was a beautiful car. Now, it's nothing like the M2 that's supposed to be coming out here in the next month or two, or being released here soon. It is a inline 6 with a turbo on it. Now, it's putting out about 320 horsepower and about, I think it's 330 pounds-feet of torque. And that's a very impressive car for what it is. Now, the M2 is only going to have 365 horsepower, and it's going to have 343 pounds-foot of torque, which I could be wrong on that spec. But the price difference is what really gets me. Now, it's about $44, I think, for a base model M235i and a $54,000 price tag on the M2, which for 10 grand you're only getting 45 more horsepower, a better look on the car, and 13 pounds-foot of torque difference. Now, that's not a lot, but if you look at the actual car itself, the M2 will be lighter, and the M2 will have a more dynamic look to it, which makes it look more like a sports car, like the M series are supposed to do. So let's go into this 235i. I got to test drive it. It was really nice. It was a beautiful car all around. Now, that model only comes in a 8-speed dual clutch transmission, which isn't a bad thing, but I do prefer a manual transmission. It isn't as fast. The manuals aren't as fast, but you have more control in the car, as I feel. Now, coming from this car and jumping into that car was a total difference, but it was great. The interior was nice. The steering was excellent. The power, for what it is, was tremendous. Taking off in that car in automatic mode, instead of having my paddle shifters, it would take off. Same thing with the paddle shifters. I could run it to about 6,000 RPMs, switch gears, and have a great shifting. Like, it's not as jerky. It's very smooth. Now, that's really weird to say, because not too many years ago, that would have been of a jerky thing, and it really blows. Now, I threw that into Sports Plus mode because it has that option, and I like to drive in Sports Plus mode. I like to drive in Sport mode. Eco mode and Comfort mode is just not my style, even though it does get better gas mileage. Now, as I was driving this car, I was playing with the front dash a little bit, and the head unit was not what I expected. It has everything you would want in it. It has the torque and the horsepower odometer, so you're showing how much you're actually using of the car as you're driving it, and that was probably the coolest thing about that car. I loved that. I've never had that in one of my cars before, and that was really cool to have because I could see exactly what was going on in the car. Another thing about that car, it is a 2-door coupe, which I love. And it would, as soon as I got in, the seats were comfy, everything was nice. I had to move my seat just a little bit, and it rides so smoothly when you first get in. It has a backup camera, parking sensors, everything you would want in a car, just so you don't harm it. And it was great. It handles at speeds. I went up to like 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour in it on a back road, and I loved every second of that car. The shifts were almost flawless. I mean, you had a little bit of a jerking sensation, but it wasn't anything like a 2012 version of a 3 Series with paddle shifters, and that's what really got me. So the M2 will feature a 8-speed automatic dual clutch transmission and a 6-speed manual, and we will wait to see how that one turns out. But the M235i, if your pocket is not wanting to spend over 50 grand, it is a wonderful car.